It was Christmas Eve, and the streets were alive with twinkling lights and the sound of carolers. But inside a small, worn-down bakery, a poor mother and her young daughter were working tirelessly. Flour dusted their hands, and their breath hung in the cold air as they carefully packed the last batch of pastries. Every movement spoke of love, struggle, and a desperate hope for a little joy on this special night. Despite their exhaustion, they smiled at each other, sharing quiet laughter that was stronger than any hardship. That as the clock ticked closer to midnight, a sleek black car pulled up outside, its polished surface reflecting the festive lights. From it stepped a man whose presence seemed to command attention, a millionaire, known for his generosity, but also his mysterious ways. His eyes scanned the little bakery, and something about the mother and daughter caught his attention in a way that no one else had ever done before. He approached them, and for a moment, time seemed to stop. The mother froze, unsure what to expect, and the daughter clutched her mother's hand tightly. The millionaire said just a few words, and then left, leaving them speechless, hearts pounding, and the question lingering in the air: why had he come to them, of all people, on this magical night? The mother slowly sank onto a small stool behind the counter, still trying to process what had just happened. Her daughter's wide eyes followed the millionaire as he disappeared into the snowy night, leaving only a faint scent of expensive cologne and a trail of unanswered questions. Who was he really? And why had he chosen their tiny bakery, tucked away in a quiet corner of the city, to appear on this Christmas Eve? The mother's mind wandered back through the years of struggling to make ends meet, working long hours while her daughter grew up learning the value of hard work and kindness. They had never had much, but they had always had each other, and that had been enough. Yet tonight felt different. There was a weight in the air, a sense that something extraordinary had begun, something that could change their lives forever. Outside, the city sparkled with holiday cheer. Oblivious to the small drama unfolding in the little bakery, the daughter whispered questions, her voice trembling, but the mother could only shake her head. There was no explaining what had happened, no logic to this sudden encounter. All they could do was wait, hearts racing, hoping that whatever had brought the millionaire here wasn't just a fleeting moment, but something that would return to them before the night ended. The next morning, the mother woke before dawn, her mind still spinning from the millionaire's sudden visit. She tried to focus on the work ahead: baking, cleaning, serving customers, but every sound outside the bakery door made her heart jump. What if he came back? And why had he even stopped by? Was it a random act of curiosity, or had he seen something in them that nobody else had noticed? Meanwhile, her daughter couldn't stop talking about the visit, imagining all sorts of scenarios. Maybe he wants to buy the bakery, Mama, she whispered, her eyes sparkling with a mix of hope and fear. The mother smiled gently but didn't answer. She had learned long ago not to get carried away by dreams. But deep down, she couldn't ignore the flicker of possibility. As the day went on, word spread in the neighborhood about the mysterious visitor. Rumors swirled. Some said he was scouting for a charity project. Others believed it was a business opportunity. Each whisper added another layer of tension, pulling the mother into a world she had never known. Even the millionaire's perspective remained a mystery. Why had he singled them out? Was it fate, or something more calculated? Every time the mother glanced at the empty street outside, a shiver ran down her spine. The answers were out there somewhere, but the night had only just begun, and the stakes were far higher than she could imagine. As evening fell, the little bakery took on a magical glow, the warm light spilling onto the snowy street. The mother wiped her tired hands on her apron, her mind racing with unanswered questions. Every customer who came in felt like a small distraction from the growing tension. She could barely focus on the orders, her thoughts constantly drifting to the millionaire. Would he return tonight? And if he did, what would he want? Her daughter pressed close, sensing her mother's unease. Mama, do you think he'll come back? She asked, her small voice trembling with a mix of excitement and fear. The mother hugged her tightly, trying to hide her own nervousness. There was something in that visit, something that promised change, but also carried uncertainty. Outside, the streets were bustling with last-minute Christmas shoppers, unaware that a quiet drama was unfolding in a corner bakery. Then, as the clock neared midnight, the bell above the door jingled, but it wasn't the familiar sound of a customer. The mother froze, her heart pounding in her chest. Through the window, she saw a shadow approaching, elegant and unmistakable. Her daughter gasped, clutching her hand. The air felt thick with anticipation, every second stretching into an eternity. The millionaire was back, and whatever he had come to do would shatter the quiet life they had known or offer a chance they had never dared to dream of. The mother's breath caught, knowing that everything was about to change, but unsure if it would be for better or worse. The shadow paused at the doorway, and the mother's pulse raced. But instead of stepping inside, the figure waved someone else forward, another person she had never expected to see. A young man, sharply dressed, yet carrying an air of hesitation, entered the bakery, his eyes locking on the mother and daughter as if searching for something deeper than just a casual encounter. The mother instinctively stepped back, her daughter squeezing her hand tightly, both of them stunned into silence. I think I know you, the young man said, his voice low but urgent. From a long time ago, or maybe someone told me about you. The words hung in the air like a puzzle, confusing and alarming at the same time. The mother's mind raced. Who was this stranger, and why had he come to their little bakery on this Christmas Eve? Meanwhile, the millionaire lingered outside, his expression unreadable, observing the scene as though testing their reaction. Suddenly, the stakes felt higher than ever. It wasn't just a mysterious visit anymore. Something about this young man suggested a hidden connection, a secret from the past that could unravel everything the mother had struggled to build. Snowflakes swirled around the windows, muffling the city's festive sounds. As the mother realized that tonight's events were no longer random, the tiny bakery had become the center of a story far bigger than she had ever imagined, and the next moments promised a revelation that could either change their lives forever or bring a storm they weren't prepared for. The mother's hands trembled as the young man stepped closer, and then, in a voice trembling with emotion, he revealed the truth. "I'm your son's best friend. From years ago," he said, eyes glistening. Before your husband left. He told me about you both, and I never forgot." The mother's heart skipped a beat, memories flooding back of a life she had long tried to protect her daughter from. The bakery, the long nights, the struggle, they had all been part of her silent fight to give her child a chance at happiness. The millionaire finally entered, his presence commanding but kind. He looked at the mother and daughter with an intensity that softened into admiration. "I've been watching you," he admitted, "not for your bakery, not for money, but because I've never seen someone care for their child the way you do. I wanted to make sure someone like you had a chance at something better." Tears filled the mother's eyes as the two strangers, one from the past, one from the present, stood before her. Hope and fear collided in a dizzying mix. Just when she thought the moment could not become more overwhelming, the millionaire handed her an envelope, heavy with possibilities. She opened it to find not just a generous offer for her bakery, but a letter revealing a long-lost inheritance from a relative she had never known existed, an unexpected fortune that could change everything. The mother hugged her daughter tightly, hearts pounding, knowing their struggles had not been in vain. Yet, as they embraced, a soft knock sounded at the door, and a familiar voice whispered their names, hinting that the story, somehow, was far from over. The mother slowly set the envelope down on the counter, her hands still shaking, and looked at her daughter. For the first time in years, a genuine smile lit up both their faces. The bakery, once a symbol of endless struggle, now felt like the beginning of something new, a place where dreams could finally grow alongside the flower and warmth of their work. The young man explained how he had kept track of their lives all these years, wanting to help in whatever way he could, and the millionaire promised to support their bakery's growth, not just with money, but with guidance and connections. The mother realized that kindness, persistence, and love had brought them to this extraordinary moment. That night, as snowflakes drifted past the glowing windows, the mother and daughter shared a quiet celebration. They reflected on their journey, the hardships, the sacrifices, and the unwavering bond that had carried them through. They had faced uncertainty, mystery, and unexpected visitors, yet they had emerged stronger, more hopeful, and ready for the future. The last thing the mother did before closing the bakery was look outside and see the city sparkling with lights. She knew one truth above all: no matter what challenges life brought, courage, love, and a little faith could transform